So this is episode 5 in the ankle sprain road to recovery series, and hopefully the last one that I'm gonna do. Hopefully ever. Hopefully I'll never have to do another one of these series ever again. So this is gonna be covering days 53 to 143, and the biggest changes that have happened in this period of time is getting the flick back. So getting to the point where now I can just flick, no problem, kick flips, beans, anything that's there in my way, I can flick without any kind of worry that I'm damaging the ankle or that, maybe I shouldn't flick so much on that day. So also getting to the point where now it doesn't really feel like I'm injured. Now it feels like I can kind of go out and just skate what I want. I can skate stairs if I want, I can skate gaps, and I don't have to worry about damaging the ankle anymore. So as I always cover the training that I've been doing, I'll just do a quick little recap now and say that basically the training hasn't really changed much since the last episode. And that last episode, I was already training almost the same as I was before the injury. The only differences have been like a little bit more of a mobility focus. It felt like I lost it a tiny bit. So I went back in and made sure that really just had that mobility on point. But excluding that, the training has pretty much just stayed the same. The training's just been there in the background, working strength, working power, working stability, working the things that I'd normally work when I'm injured and when I'm not injured. That's just been there constant in the background. The way that I've really continued the rehab process has been through skating. So I've gone over a lot of this in the previous episodes, and I've shown different ways that I've rehabbed through skating itself. And this has been such an essential piece in the whole rehab process, and I feel like this is a big piece that the skaters, I feel, miss out on completely, where they think like, alright, I need to just wait until my ankle is recovered before I can skate again. Nah, skating is a rehab tool that's preparing your body for skating. You just got to figure out like, where am I at? What can I do? What can that injured part of my body currently handle? And just continually build on top of it and progress from there. So let's talk a little bit about skate focus rehab with the flick. Now in the early stages, I was doing a lot of exercises that were mimicking the flick or putting the ankle in a similar position that we have the foot in and the ankle in when we're actually flicking, that are less intense than actually flicking the board itself. So they would just help me build that strength and build that mobility up to the point when I could actually start training it more so like on the board with ollies and with kick flips and stuff like this. So it was actually about like day 40 that I did the first kickflip, but then it was only like the 4th month, pretty much bang on the 4th month, where I got to the point where I felt like, okay, I can flip, no problem. I can do as many flip tricks as I want in the session, and I don't really have to worry about damaging the ankle anymore. And the way that I did that was really, as always, just being progressive, and seeing it as a feedback loop. So going out and being like, all right, I'm gonna do 10 kickflips. How does the body respond the next day? Doesn't hurt? Great, that was a good intensity. Next session, let's do 20. So as kickflips on flat started becoming more comfortable, I then started to play around with different tricks that I felt stressed the ankle even more, to put it in even more of an intense flickage position. Like frontside flips I found were a bit like that, flip back tails as well. I felt required like a much faster flick that stressed that ankle so much more. If it responded well, cool, I'd push it a little bit further. If it didn't, then I'd dial it back a little bit. And just having that constant feedback loop with what you're doing and how your body's responding. That's such an important piece of the rehab process, because everyone responds different. Just because you're on week 3 doesn't mean you should be doing 10 split squats and 10 ollies. Nah, maybe you can do more than that. Maybe you can do less. Everyone's gonna be different, and the rehab process is always this dynamic thing that's changing based on how you are responding and how you're recovering. So you've got to really see it as that like interactive process. It's not just follow a plan and boom, you're good to go. You've really got to be there paying attention to how your body's feeling. So one really important thing to mention when it comes down to getting that flip back to 100% is it takes a while, because you've got these different stages of healing. And the final stage is remodeling, when your body basically realigns the tissues into a more functional state where they can handle stress better and stuff like this. And this takes time. This can take up to a year and even more. So when you're going through this process, even though your foot might be able to handle kickflips and it might feel totally fine, in the session, it might feel a bit stiff. It might feel a bit uncomfortable. And as long as you're not turning up the next session with a bunch more pain, or in that session you're triggering a bunch more pain, then you're probably fine as you get beyond those early stages of the ankle rehab process. There's gonna be that stiffness. There's gonna be a bit of discomfort as you stress that foot in a way that you want to then use it in the future, because it's that stress that's triggering that adaptation for that tissue to respond and realign stronger for you to then use it how you want in the future. So be patient with this stuff. You know, if you've still got those sensations that are kind of lingering in those later stages, that's normal, especially if it was a really bad sprain like the one that I had, you know, that little bit of stiffness or anxiety at the session when it comes down to like doing the first few flicks. Like this is normal. Although obviously if it's still hurting a lot, or you've got these weird sharp like shooting pains and things like this that are still happening in those later stages, as I've been saying the whole time across this series, go to a physio, get it checked out. That isn't normal pain. You know, we all know what's okay pain and what's not, and if it's that not pain, go get that shit checked out. You're gonna be grateful that you did, 100%. So in the last episode, I also talked a lot about the mental challenge of not being able to skate at a level that I wanted to, not being able to skate at the level that I felt like I was skating at before the injury. And now I've got to the point where I can. Now I've got to the point where I can handle impacts, I can jump down gaps, I can skate hand rolls if I want, and I can have long sessions. I don't have to worry about how many flip tricks that I do in a session. So this has taken a while to get to this point as well. It's taken a lot of patience, it's taken a lot of accepting where I'm at and accepting that, all right, I've kind of got to relearn this trick. I've got to put in the time to get this trick that I used to have on lock, you know, and that is something that you have to accept when it comes down to getting back from an injury. You can stress as much as you want. You can be there and you can be like, I used to be able to do the nollie crook, but now I can't do it. You know, you can be like that. You can be that stroppy little kid, but it's not going to help you. Not only in terms of probably not helping you actually relearn that trick, but also in terms of recovery, because the stress that you're running through your body is counterproductive to recovery. You know, you want to be in a more optimistic, positive state to optimize recovery. So really trying to accept where I'm at and be okay with it. It's been a really useful part, and I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been able to do that all the time. I've got pissed off, I've got stressed, and that's just also a part of it. That's totally fine. But in general, I feel like I've done quite a good job at accepting the process. And now I'm at a point where I'm skating pretty comfortably. I feel like I've almost got back to that same level. The only big area that I feel like I still need to work on is getting tricks down gaps again, which I'm not gonna lie, I was lacking on that shit before the injury as well. So yes, maybe that's not even injury related, but in terms of handling the impact, we're definitely there. And to get to that point, you know the drill, you know what I'm gonna say. I've been progressive. 5 stair, 7 stair, 9 stair, gradually building up and just, you know, really trying to be progressive, pay attention to how the body responds, and that's it. If someone wants to count the amount of times that I've said progressive in this series and let me know, I'll send you a 10% discount code for Blockbuster, alright? So if you can do that, I'll hook you up. So that is pretty much all I wanted to say in this final episode. If you're going through an injury as well, if you're going through an ankle sprain, I really hope that you recover fast. Just be patient, put in the work, turn your energy that you used for skating into the recovery process, put your energy into that, and you're gonna bounce back. You know, if you do the work, if you put in the effort and you stay consistent with that shit, you're gonna get where you wanna go. So do it, and I hope you have a speedy recovery. If you got any questions, drop them down in the comment section below, and stay tuned for all the other videos that I post on this channel that are gonna help you skate better and feel better when you're skating as well. So let's get it, that's it, road to recovery.